Hey guys, Chris Murphy, and I want to do a video today on privacy and your right to privacy, having your own space, be it feeling safe. It could be in a physical space in terms of your room, and you might find people always coming in, or you feel very sensitive about not feeling really safe and secure, or you could just keep having people phoning you up whenever they want, and you have feel this need to having to phone them back, or when people come into your physical space that you feel you can't tell them, like, look, I just want my own space. And this always happened to me for a lot of house shares I had in London, where I would just constantly get people coming into my room, or constantly knocking on my room, and it's like I'd never felt like I could just have my own space. And then when I started to come to places like, say, I went to a hotel or I lived by myself, I would feel a lot more safe. And in particular, I noticed this perhaps in my own home and growing up, and I think in terms of enmeshment, that we would have a parent which would constantly come onto our personal space, and not apologise for it, which would always leave us on edge. And I think as a child, we didn't really have a say. You know, we weren't strong enough to say no, or we weren't even aware of it. There was no option. Now we're adults, we can say no, we can set boundaries, and a lot of us have fear. And what we will not start to notice is, once you start to tell people, no, you can't come into my space, you can't come into my room, you need to knock, and all this sort of stuff, they might ignore it, and they might just say, well, why should I do that? Which is normally a reflection of you and inside, and this is where we need to be strong, and we need to have the courage to set the boundary. And whenever you do set boundaries, particularly in this sort of area, and it could be someone phoning you up all the time, and you're saying, like, no, that person will then maybe make you feel guilty, because they're most likely very defensive, and they'll take it very personally. They sort of, once you set boundaries, for example, in codependent relationships, a lot of the time are non-existent, because people kind of merge together. And in the sort of family system, when people are merging together, you to set boundaries makes you feel more like an individual, so you're then shamed for that, only because that's how they're meeting their needs as well. And because we're always in this place where we're putting other people's needs first, it can feel good for you to be like, oh, I don't want to hurt their feelings, or I want them to, that's making them feel happy, so you put them first. Whereas you have to feel what's going on inside you, and as you feel it in your body. No, and I remember I spoke to my therapist about this, and she used the example of, look, if you were in a hotel and you constantly had people coming into your hotel room unannounced and cleaning, that would feel really uncomfortable. And to be honest, like whether it's a house share or this or that, you do feel uncomfortable as well. I think we have a right to privacy, to our own space, our own physical space. I've grown up very sensitive, and now I live by my own, and I feel a lot more sense of freedom, but I still will be sensitive to certain things, certain noises, when I'm out and around and people are talking. So it's this constant fear of, I think, someone coming in and coming into your physical space. But as long as you have those strong boundaries, those strong walls around you, that people won't come, and you have that right. If it feels uncomfortable, you have a right to tell someone, no, I want my own space. And as I mentioned, it could be phone calls, and you're not meant to feel guilty to want that space, that privacy, that time by yourself, because we all need that to recharge. And we are separate individuals. So another topic on enmeshment or codependent relationships, around this, is to step out your comfort zone and say, like, look, this is what I want. Can you knock before you come in? Can you only come in, knock on my room if it's an emergency? So I noticed this in the last time I lived with someone last year, is that person would never come into my room at all, and very, very rarely actually knock, unless I think it was just a deep respect of, okay, this person, unless it's an emergency, I will knock on their room, and if they're in the general areas, then we can socialise. So I hope this video helps, guys, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video.